Peace everyone, Unmasked here, and welcome back to the Drawing Journal. Alright everyone, before I get into drawing, I just wanted to make a few announcements. The first thing that I want to do is introduce the artist feature of the week. Each drawing journal I am going to start featuring a YouTube artist other than myself, and encourage you to go check out their channel and stuff like that. So if you're subscribed to my channel and you have your own YouTube channel, just leave it in the comments, let me know, and I'll come check it out if I'm not already subscribed. And I will just pick a random one each week, as long as you regularly upload and have quality work. But anyway, so the artist feature of the week this week is art by Zapy. She does a lot of graffiti art on paper, and it's really cool. And what made my week this past week was that she did my art channel, Unmasked Art. She did that in graffiti, and I'll show it to you here. And I really like the way that it came out. I love the colors that she chose. Blue and orange is my favorite. So anyway, I will leave a link to her channel in the description. Make sure that you go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and support her channel. And that's it for the artist feature of the week. Anyways, so moving on from there, I also want to say thank you to all of my Patreons that are supporting me on Patreon. It means a lot and it's very helpful. And considering in just a couple months I will be doing art full-time, I will be focusing all of my energy on my YouTube channel. So if you're not already a patron, I will also have a link in the description for that if you're interested in helping me support my work. It would mean a lot to me, and even if it's just $1 a month, I appreciate it deeply. Thank you very much. So with that said, and out of the way, let's get to drawing. So if you follow me on social media or anything like that, then you know that I finally finished this portrait of my beautiful girlfriend. And I don't know, I think there's still plenty of room for improvement. However, I'm very happy with the way it turned out, considering it's the first time I tried to do this in color. I mean, as you can see, I've done plenty of portraits with just, black and white, monochromatic. Anyways, so yeah, I'm really happy with the way that it came out. And anyways, so what I'm going to be working on now, I'm moving away from flesh tone studies, skin tone studies. I did those. I did a few of those. So I'm going to be moving away from there, and I'm going to be going back to what I was really enjoying before I started that, and that was doing, where are they at? I was doing figure studies. I really enjoy doing these, so I think I'm going to make this kind of the more regular thing that I do for the drawing journal. Or if there's anything that you would like me to draw and talk about or something like that, just let me know in the comments. But one of my favorite figure studies that I did was this one right here. And what I was trying to do on this particular piece was really amplify contrast and work from the darkest value that I could get out of my Prismacolors, which is this black, which is just a black Prismacolor. And then I did this one here, and I used a different strategy for blacking out the background. And then I also have this here, which is another strategy in which I used to black out the background. Or no, I take that back. No, this one was the same as this one, but this one here, this black here, is different. So this was just burnishing with the black colored pencil that about destroyed my hand. And as you can see, I have to use a pencil extender with this because it's only about this long now. So I'm going to be going through another strategy. I thought it'd be a helpful tip for anybody that's using colored pencils. They can use this. For this black background, I used Copic marker. It's not too bad, except you're going to get bleeding. And as long as you don't draw with a piece of paper underneath of it, then you don't have to worry about it. And then I also used Copic marker for here, so you can see that it bled. I also used Copic marker for this gray background. This paper doesn't take marker very well. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's a lot of streaking that happens from the marker, and I don't like it. Not so much in this one, actually, surprisingly. Maybe because it's the black. But the gray didn't turn out too well. So, and even the black here is a little streaky. And then the next strategy that I used for here was I actually used ink. I just used black Indian ink and a brush and painted it on. The problem with the ink is there's too much water in it, and so the page here is wrinkled, and I don't like it. It's not the result that I want. The best that I found was burnishing the black colored pencil. I mean, this is the blackest black I've ever drawn. The Copic marker is not quite as dark. It has a gray tone. It's like a dark gray. So anyways, moving on to the next piece. So I'm going to be doing another male figure study. I have it sketched out here because that's boring to watch. So I always sketch these out before because it saves time in the video, because watching me sketch it out wouldn't be any fun. Anyways, so the strategy that I'm going to be using for darkening the background, I am going to be doing with colored pencil. However, I'm going to outline it. I always outline it with the very thins because I can get a nice crisp line, and then I can kind of sneak up on it with this less exact pencil. So the strategy that I'm going to be using for this, and I don't think I'm going to get to this video, however, I'll definitely do it next video. I just have this odorless paint thinner called Terpenoid. There's tons of different brands for this, but I use this to clean my paintbrushes when I am oil painting, and you can pretty much use any type of paint thinner. I definitely recommend odorless though. Yeah, so you take a paintbrush, you dip it in there, and then you can kind of smear the wax from the colored pencil around. So I'm just going to outline this really quick, and then I'll show you a little spot at the very least. If I don't get all of it done in this video, but yeah. Last week I had the time lapse that I uploaded of the koi fish, and if you saw the product review for the Faber-Castell watercolor pencils, then you had already seen it. But I thought I'd upload it anyway with some nice music to it, and yeah. So if you didn't check that out, be sure to give it a like if you want. I liked the music that I chose for it. I knew as soon as I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's definitely the music that goes to this video. And if you noticed, I changed the background here. I have my painting of Universal Vision. I also have a time lapse for that. It was one of my longer, more elaborate time lapses. So if you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend checking it out. It was a lot of fun to make. Surprisingly simple painting to do, and I hope to add another painting to the portfolio here soon. I have it planned. Actually, I have two paintings planned. One is more planned than the other. And yeah, maybe I'll be able to get to it soon. But I also have a new subscriber portrait that will be coming out next week. I'm just finishing up some minor details off camera before finishing the editing of the video. But yeah, so look forward to that next Thursday. This coming Thursday, I will have kind of a celebratory time lapse, I guess you could call it, because the previous week I finished off the last weekly drawing, and so I'm kind of doing a recap of all of those drawings, all 52 of them. So yeah, be sure to be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, considering how immensely difficult my quarter for school has become the past few weeks, I'm hoping that I can maintain time-lapse video a week alongside my drawing journals. It's getting pretty tough. I didn't exactly have the best week last week. It was midterms week, and I have a lot of work ahead of me. I'll just put it that way. I have a lot of work ahead of me for sure. And pretty much spent all weekend doing homework. I barely did anything other than homework, with the exception of the subscriber portrait, which the subscriber portrait took a lot less time to do because it's a baby. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that it's a baby. You can see the work in progress shot on Facebook. If you want, the link is in the description. Yeah, so instead of moving on and outlining this, I want to show how this works using the paint thinner. So I'm not going to put a lot of pressure. I'm just going to put a nice layer of this black down and show you what happens when you blend it with the paint thinner. And it will save a lot of your pencil from having to, as opposed to burnishing it like I did on the previous piece. These will extend the life of your pencils tremendously, which is very helpful. And you can use this technique in so many different ways. I mean, I would recommend, if you've never tried it, definitely, just go to the art store and pick up a small container of odorless paint thinner. I mean, I think I paid like maybe $2 for this off-brand thinner, and yeah, it works really well. I would definitely experiment with it on a piece that you don't really care about and kind of see what it does to the work. But you can see here that there's tons of little specks of the paper that are showing through, and if I were to burnish this piece, then it would be just solid black and it would look really nice. And so I'm just going to show you how much easier it is to just get this background all black, because I want it to be just as black as the previous one, but not use so much of my pencil. So there's a nice layer. So I'm just going to take my paint thinner, take my brush, just kind of get the excess off, and then you just kind of rub it in there. And you can use, I don't know, you could use a Q-tip if you wanted to. Maybe that'd give you a little bit more control or something. But there's two things to kind of mention about this. I don't particularly like to use this technique for blending when it comes to colors, because it does tend to desaturate colors, and I think it looks muddy and kind of ugly. So I've done it on a few pieces, and I still occasionally will use it a little bit, just a little bit. But for the most part, I tend to do just multiple layers for blending and burnishing for blending because I think the overall saturation is much, much better. The other thing about this is that you have to really wait for it to dry to really see the benefits of it or to see the outcome of what it looks like because it's going to be a lot darker. It's going to be a lot darker than what it's going to actually end up looking like after it dries. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you use it. The other thing, don't worry if it bleeds out. I don't know if you can see it, but it's coming up his nose into his face a little bit. That's not going to do anything. Once it dries, it's just going to go right back to normal as long as you brush with inside your lines. So I'm just brushing right up to that line that I drew with the other pencil. And you just kind of push the wax up to it, and then you leave it alone. If it starts to bleed in a little bit, no worries, I can assure you. Once it dries, it will go back to the normal color of the paper. And then, what else? Yes, the other really great thing that I like about this stuff is you can get a lot on your paper. Like, this is not thick paper at all. What is this? Yeah, this is only 80-pound paper, or 120 grams per meter. And that's thin paper. This is only slightly thicker than regular printer paper that you use with your computer. So you would imagine if you got it wet, it would wrinkle and it would warp and all this stuff. But you don't get that problem with the paint thinner. I could almost just dump it onto this paper and it would still stay smooth. It would dry and then it would be just back to normal. I'm not going to test that theory out, but I have it pretty saturated. I mean, you should be able to see it bleeding through now. See it bleeding onto his face. But in 5 minutes, that will be gone and everything's just going to look normal. And you can see that the bit here where I barely even layered, it's just one layer of black. I mean, I didn't even dull my pencil all that much to get that layer on there. And it's nice, it has nice coverage now, and it looks a lot better. And if I did one more layer, which I most likely will do, maybe 2 or even 3 layers, and do this technique, I'll have a nice solid black background. And that's one of the things I want to do with this piece, have that really nice solid black background. So anyway, this video kind of became more of a tutorial than a regular drawing journal. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed it. Definitely try this technique out in your own work. And have a great week. I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.